Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Miki Wright, and I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk, which is your backstage pass to experts in beauty. First of all, I want to apologize. It's like I've still got a little congestion, so I want to make sure that you guys are on the, not bothered by. Hopefully, I won't have any interruptions, but just bear with me if you would. And I'm super excited that we made it to 2021. So, yay! Yay. It's been an interesting run in 2020, but if you've been watching and listening, you know that I've spent time celebrating the legends of this industry. I've even had a whole month that I dedicated to hearing some of their stories. I love celebrating their contributions and the legacy that they've left for us. And I'll definitely continue to interview the legends because I feel like their stories are truly insightful and invaluable. But what about our future? That's what we're celebrating this month. So, yay! I'm speaking to four beauty superstars who are all under 40 and doing phenomenal things. So, if you haven't heard of them all, you will and you should. So, please take time to follow them on the gram. And you may be wondering, like, why 40 under 40? So, when I started thinking about my own career, I realized that I accomplished a lot before I was 40. And I know what it's like to have that drive and desire to express your creativity, to make a difference in the lives of your clients, as well as wanting to educate, travel, compete, and have your work published, even wanting to own a salon and grow a team. So I have been accused of not sharing enough of my story. So buckle your seatbelt because I'm just going to share some of the things I did before I was 40. So I unexpectedly went to cosmetology school and then moved across the country the next day to the Washington, D.C. area, which is the DMV, to start my career. I started in a great salon only to have to go back to get an office job because I wasn't making enough. And 6 months later, I had built a thriving clientele and I quit my job. A few years later, I opened a salon and then I sold that salon for a profit a year later. I was the grand prize winner of the You Set the Trend competition for the first Proud Lady Hair Show in Chicago. I worked for Bronner Brothers as a platform artist. I actually got over my stage fright of not wanting to speak in front of people. I tried out and made the National Black Hair Fashion Group, and I got to work with icons that I admired from afar, including Mr. T, Thomas Hayden, who is definitely an industry legend, and Barbara Edmonds, who I got to interview not too long ago. I was a platform artist and did photo shoots with kink products. I started my own Fabulous Finishes classes, which was a systematic approach to hair design, and taught thousands and hands-on hair cutting as well as hairstyling and design. I won many other awards. I did lots of photo shoots. I had my work published in and on covers of national magazines like Shop Talk, Sophisticate's Black Hair, and Black Passion. I opened Fabulous Finishes Salon, and then I was one of the first to open a full-service salon and day spa, where we were actually featured as one of the best in the area. I grew my own dream team, who was my team that made all of those things possible. And for 3 years in a row, we were selected as one of Salon Today magazine's 200 fastest growing salons in the country. And so, believe it or not, when I sold that salon, I was just shy of turning 37. So, I definitely feel like I did a lot before 40, but and we're hearing some kind of noise. Isn't it? I don't know if anyone else is hearing it or not, but but anyway, it's not about me. This month isn't about me. But if you wonder why I'm so excited about celebrating these amazing Black artists and entrepreneurs, this is why. I know what it takes: the patience, the sacrifice, the over the top passion to live, breathe, and almost eat anything connected to your passion. I know there are so many more who are under 40 and leading this industry in a fabulous direction. So we are just starting here now with some absolutely fantastic people. It's like I've got Brendnetta Ashley here tonight. So we're going to meet her and hear her story in just a few minutes. And it's like there definitely will be more to come. So I think this is a wonderful way to kick off the new year with hope and energy. And why am I so excited to be here to talk with all of these fabulous superstars week after week? Beauty Superstars Talk was actually born out of the tragic murder of George Floyd and the racial tensions that erupted right after. And it all quickly spilled into the beauty industry, which, if you don't know, after churches, is still one of the most segregated industries in the country. And so during that time, I actually had the honor to attend a couple of Zoom calls where there were top Black artists, and we were able to meet each other and share, everyone shared stories. For many, there was pain over subtle and not so subtle racially charged events, but because they were there, they didn't let it stop them. And I left there feeling so inspired and with a sense that people just have to hear these stories. So I have expanded my platform last year to provide a safe space for Black artists to tell their own stories. And every week since mid-May of last year, it's like I've had the privilege to meet with so many amazing Black artists and entrepreneurs who are excelling in the beauty industry. So I want you to know we're just getting started. And this is more than a podcast or an interview show. It's actually a movement. So for anyone, if you are joining us for the first time, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here. For everyone who's followed the podcast and supported me throughout my career, there are not words to express my gratitude. There are still people that share that they have my video training, which is like, okay, VHS, very old school. But I do appreciate everyone's support, and I invite you to stay tuned. So tonight is going to blow your mind, and we've got some extremely exciting things to come for more of 2021. And again, my name is Miki Wright. I want to invite you to subscribe to our Beauty Superstars podcast on your favorite podcast app. Apple is where we suggest that you start, because I love the Apple podcast. And I'll leave the link in the comments as well. But follow us, tell your friends. If this mission speaks to you, please consider joining my VIP training, which is going to be all about reinventing your salon in 2021. And if you're on YouTube with us, I want to invite you to subscribe, to ring the bell, and make sure you don't miss an episode. So we're here to celebrate Black artists and entrepreneurs who are excelling in the beauty industry, to preserve our history and to encourage entrepreneurship in our industry. So as you've heard, I have had the pleasure of doing almost everything you can do in the beauty industry. And I'm also second generation in the business, with both a mom and sister in it as well. And you could definitely say that I love the beauty industry, and I'm very grateful for all that it's provided me. So we're here to inspire and educate the next generation of beauty superstars and to heal our beloved industry. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guest. And before we jump into conversation, I want to share just a little bit about her with her bio. So coming from, excuse me, Brendnetta Ashley is her name. And I'm not sure if you guys are wondering how to pronounce it. I was at first. So I think I have it correctly. But coming from a, thank you. Coming from a family of hairstylists, it was no surprise when Brendnetta Ashley decided to become a hairstylist as well. Born and raised in Northern California, Brendnetta grew up in the salon watching her grandmother create and transform her clients. After seeing the feeling her grandmother gave her clients, Brendnetta decided to begin a cosmetology school her senior year of high school. This is where her passion for the industry began. Once completing cosmetology school, Brendnetta began her college career at San Francisco State University, studying business communication. While in college, she assisted under her cousin in the salon. Soon after, she was ready to grow and build her own clientele. In 2003, she began her career at JC Penney salons. This is where she established a salon home. Over the years, she grew her clientele and became a master hairstylist. After graduating college in 2010 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Communication, she wanted to be more than just a stylist behind the chair. So she auditioned to become part of the JC Penney salon education team in 2012. Brendnetta always wanted to help other stylists starting out in the business, as she had learned it was challenging to find great support. After auditioning and becoming a part of the educational team, Brendnetta's career began to excel. As part of the education team, she grew an interest in doing editorial hair. She asked for opportunities, took additional education, and was soon able to assist artists such as Michelle O'Connor and, is it Delac?
Yeah.
Okay, Delac Honor Taylor. Brendnetta became a sponge of their knowledge, and in 2020, 2017, can't even say this anymore, um, way back in 2017, became a member of the Salon by InStyle inside JC Penney artistic education team. As a team member, she was leader of the educators in her region, assisted on photo shoots, showcased her talent on stage at the Orlando premiere show, and shot a NAHA, which is the North American Hairstyling Awards collection. The collection won Team of the Year in 2020. So congratulations. Yeah, that is incredible. And Brendnetta enjoys vivid coloring, braiding of all textures and styling. She continues to keep herself inspired by creating magic in the salon, exploring all opportunities, and by learning from other stylists. Her dream is to shoot for a cover of a magazine and to be an educator for a vendor. She knows she will get there because her motto in life is dream big and enjoy the process of accomplishing those dreams.
Yes.
So with all of that, yay, we're so excited that you're here.
I am so excited to be here with everybody. Happy New Year. It's 2021. Yes. We survived 2020. So we're here. Woo!
Praise God. Yes. Yeah. So I want to kind of jump right in. It's like, I shared in your bio how your family was definitely, an influence in the fact that you're in the industry. But tell us, like, what age was it that you kind of had that spark, and what was that said, this is what I'm going to do?
So I will have to say that it probably started when I was, my family, they'll probably tell you that they knew well before I knew.
Okay.
I remember being a kid, all my Barbies, all my dolls, they have chopped up hair. They have marker hair color. So for my family, they'll probably be like, oh, we knew this long time ago that you were going to do hair. But for me, it probably wasn't until I got into high school.
Okay.
I never wanted to do hair because how I thought of it was like, oh my gosh, you got to be in the salon all day on Saturday. You don't get to hang out. You got to work. So
okay.
I was like, I don't want to do that. But it wasn't until like I got into high school where I really kind of started playing around with my hair, kind of playing around with my friends' hair. I would do our hair. I was a cheerleader, so I did our hair sometimes for some of our competitions. Mm-hmm. That's when I really got into it. And then my senior year of high school, we had the ROP program. And I had enough credits to where I could have graduated high school early. But if I would have graduated early, I wouldn't have been able to do any of our senior events. So I definitely wanted to do all the senior events. So the opportunity was presented to me. Oh, we'll do something with our ROP program. So I was like, okay. And cosmetology school was there. So I kind of felt like it was right for me to do. Mm-hmm. And cosmetology school was actually supposed to be like the fallback plan. Like I was like, oh, I'll just do, hair on the side. It'll be something that I'll have extra into something else. But here we are. It's my main thing.
How about that? So what is it? ROC you were mentioning? What is that?
ROP. So it was kind of like where you would do you could do like adult school like classes, different trade school classes while you were in high school. So my senior year of high school, I did half a day high school, the other half cosmetology. And then once high school year ended, I finished out cosmetology school. And then from there, I got licensed and then was off to college.
Okay, so you did cosmetology school for the remaining balance at a private school?
No, same school. It was just through just finishing out the rest of the year.
Okay, so it was more than a 1-year program, or it was just a 1-year program?
No, it ended up being a little over a year. Probably just because we were going basically part-time. So it ended up being just a little bit over a year.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And so you said you went on to college, and I know you went ahead and got your degree. So what was that decision like?
I always wanted to have my degree. It was just something that I wanted to accomplish for myself. So actually doing hair was like my hustle in school. So like I was working in the salon, and then I was going to college. My friends from college, I would do their hair on the side. Kind of was like the thing before we went out on a Saturday night. You get your hair done, and then we good to go.
Cool. And so congratulations on getting your degree. I know it's not a choice that everyone makes, but I have been speaking to a lot more stylists, who've been sharing about having their degrees. And, this profession as a general rule, people think, oh, you do it because you can't do anything else, or you're not smart, and this, that, and the other. And I think there's so many of us kind of dispelling that. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's a great accomplishment.
Does not mean that at all.
Exactly. In fact, it takes a whole lot, especially as a colorist. You've
Lot
got
of
to be able to think.
You need to know the science behind things for sure.
Yes, yes, science and art and a whole lot of other things. So, yeah, so this month is all about 4 under 40. So would you be kind enough to share with us your age and
Oh my gosh. No, I'm 36.
okay, awesome. Well, congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you.
And tell us, what about color? Like, how did you get interested in it? Once you got into your career, was it something you were always interested in, or how did that evolve for you?
So, when I was in the salon, I shied away from color a lot. Color for me in the salon, I had a very highly textured clientele. So at the
Okay.
time, it was a ton of relaxers. So a lot of my clients who got color was pretty much a cellophane. And if you weren't doing your color, you kind of would just cover up a grays, and it was most of the time like with like black or red or like a golden brown. So it really wasn't exploring the world of color. What
Mhm.
started happening was I was missing out on a lot of opportunities for potential clients. So if a walk-in would come in, it was kind of, I was always in that category of, oh, she doesn't do that service. So because she doesn't do that
Mhm.
service, you kind of get looked over. Well, after so many times of getting looked over, you kind of feel like, well, I need to do something. What am I going to do? And then eventually my salon manager, she was like, you're the only one here. You're the only one available. You're going to do this service, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to walk you through it. And then,
Okay.
of course, I was sweating bullets. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess this lady's hair up. She's going to hate me for the rest of her life. But it
Right.
actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And what it really taught me was that you need to learn more, and you need to expand with what you're going to be doing in the salon. Because if you keep yourself small and only in this one small box, you're limiting what you can actually do for yourself, and you're stopping the growth of your own business. So that's
Mm.
kind of when I got into the realm of, you need to know what you're doing, and you need to take some more classes, and you need to not be afraid to ask questions to some of the other ladies in the salon. So there was two other ladies in my salon at the time, and
Mhm.
they did a ton of foiling, heavy
Mm.
highlights all the time. So on my downtime, I would just watch them, and I would
Mhm.
ask them questions, and I started practicing what they were doing, mimicking the same motions and trying to figure things out. Some of it was trial and error in there. I'm not even gonna lie about it.
Okay.
But I feel like that's what makes you who you are. Like if you haven't messed up yet, get ready.
Right, right. Yeah, you can't learn color and not mess up.
You
So
cannot. You cannot.
it's just not gonna happen. And so thank you for all that you just shared, but you were saying something about keeping yourself small. Delve into that a little bit deeper, because that was really, really powerful. And I really don't want anyone to miss, what you were sharing.
When you limit yourself in the salon and you say, I only do this, or I'm only going to do that, and I'm not going to go into that, you are really limiting your potential of where you can really be at and where you can grow and the things that you can do. We can't do everything, that's obvious. But when it comes to some of those kind of foundational skills, such as color, you really need to open yourself up to that. You really need to open up and learn what are the new trends, learn the basics of the of coloring hair, understanding how and why you do certain things. So then when those clients do come into the salon, you have something to actually offer them. I think when we look at how things have transitioned, especially when it comes into textured hair, we went from everyone wanting to wear relaxer to everyone going natural and now wanting color. So
Mhm.
if you were always like, no, I don't do color, I don't do color, you're missing out on opportunities now. So how are you going to be able to keep yourself expanding? So you have to be able to be open to seeing what the trends are and opening to learning new things and not being afraid to ask questions. I stress that so much. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Ask 1,001 questions every single time.
Awesome. Yeah. I think you can't say that enough. And asking the questions, like you said, keeping an eye on the trends, like where are clients going? What are they wanting? What are they asking for? Is it something that feels like it could fit in my wheelhouse? Like not everything is for everyone, but like you say, color is a foundational skill.
Yep.
And particularly, we've got a lot of millennials and Gen Z people, but the population as a whole, the baby boomers are still on top. They've still
Oh
got the
yeah.
biggest numbers. And when you look at gray hair, which gray hair coverage is its own art form, but it's also can be a game changer in terms of your salon clientele if you're able to do really enhance the gray, if you're able to cover it the way that some people want it, if you're able to make it so that it's almost a highlight. It's like you have a whole lot of tools in your toolbox to really be able to help clients and really make almost show-stopping type of work.
Yes,
So,
and you have to be, I stress the importance of learning the basics. And I hate to say that, but it's not that it's basic, but those are your foundational tools. Trends come and go, but your foundational tools are what set the trends. So if you don't know and understand your foundational tools, how are you going to be able to approach your trends? So get into some of those classic hairdressing classes, knowing and understanding the fundamentals of color, knowing and understanding the fundamentals of cutting, knowing and understanding the fundamentals of texture. I think that those things are so important. And the more you know about those foundational skills, the more you're going to be able to approach the trends in the way that they're going, or maybe create a new trend for yourself.
mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that sometimes it gets kind of underplayed, the basics, because it's like, oh, well, everybody kind of knows that, but they really don't know it,
Right.
Like done quite a few interviews with people who've come from, various backgrounds, but certain cosmetology schools that are like known for color. And I just ask, like, what is your color wheel? And they're like, oh, wait a minute. Let me think about it. It's like, if you don't know your color wheel, like off the top of your head, then you're not able to do color,
Right. And just don't take the class one time and say, oh, I got it. You may need to take that class every year, ever so often. I'm going back into those books. I'm going back into a color class. Keeping yourself educated is what's going to keep you at the top of your game.
Right. And I can guarantee you, if you went to a color class once, that you didn't get it. It's like,
no, not at
even
all.
if you think you got it, you didn't get it.
Not at all.
So I absolutely love your hair. And there's a comment on here too. I think it's done that little. First of all, that green, black, red hair color. Woo.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yes, it is awesome. And she's also saying something else that's great. Repetition. Like you say, going back to those classes and making sure. And looks like you've got a lot of fans out here. And it's like,
oh,
Jamie.
hey, Jamie also works with Salon by InStyle. She is another amazing artist. So if you guys don't follow Jamie, she's awesome.
Awesome. And Nishan is here. That's actually my sister, and she loves your work.
Oh,
So
thank you.
phenomenal. And so, yeah, we've got wonderful comments, and I appreciate Jamie saying thank you for sharing my story and these phenomenal artists. It's like they absolutely are. So I'm really grateful to be able to share others' stories. So, you have, great looking hair tonight, which we love. But you also, it's like anyone who follows you on Instagram and, anywhere else that you may be hanging out, your, I don't know, aesthetic around color, your style, you got edgy B girl as your, it's edgy, it's got a vibe, it's got a real signature on it. So I know that you've done and are doing a lot of studying with color to become, to elevate your coloring services and, like you say, being able to create trends and all that kind of good stuff. But are there any other words of wisdom you might share with someone who's trying to get to that point? Like, like my work looks okay, but it's like, I know that there's this other level.
So not only with practicing, get you a couple different things. So now for sure, mannequins. Practice on mannequins. Take pictures of your mannequins. I know if you guys go and look over on my page, I have quite a few pictures of a mannequin. I feel like there was part of a time where it was like, if you posted a mannequin on your page, it was kind of like, oh, you're so new. Don't post a mannequin. That's not good. But now, like, these mannequins are out here, they look good. Like, these are some bomb looking mannequins. So post your mannequins, take a ton of pictures of those. But then not only that, find you a couple of people to practice on and kind of let them be like your hair models. I will tell you, my mom, my sister, and my best friend, they are always willing to let me explore a couple of different things. They kind of let me get a little creative and wild. My sister, sometimes she's like, no, hold back. You're going too far. So I was super excited. She let me do her hair red, and it's like a vibrant fire red, and I absolutely loved it because she did not let me, I didn't have to hold back. She was like, all right, I'm working from home, so go for it. And I was like, thank you. I get to do something really fun, but really have that support system. If you have a support system of friends, maybe it's just one or two friends that just kind of say, okay, these are the different things that you can do. Practice on them. Practicing on a mannequin is always good, but then getting your hands into actual real life hair, you can really see how things are going to react. Mannequins, you can almost kind of predict what it's going to do, whereas with a real life person, you get to really see how this works, how it feels. And then not only that, practice on yourself. I know you guys kind of commented about my hair. That's really how I started getting into hair, was that I would do my hair all the time. So if you guys see my page, I changed my hair all the time. I never have the same hairstyle. And I do that because, one, it keeps my hands working and moving, but it keeps me changing. And the more I change, the more the person that's sitting in my chair is going to want to have a new change. And it lets me practice to see if I like something versus if I don't like something, how would I change it? I will tell you, when I first got into doing extensions, the lady that taught me how to do extensions, she had me do it on myself. And she was like, do you feel that lump? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I don't like it. She's like, okay, your client's not going to like that either. So take it down and redo it. And so the more I started doing that, the better, the easier it became for me. So then I knew what my client would feel like. So if you kind of are like, I don't know how to do this, do your own hair and take pictures of it and post it and tell everybody, this is my hair. It's bomb. Come get your hair to look just like this.
Right. Love it. Yeah. And I like that, like you said, doing it on yourself, or even if you are doing it on a mannequin, when you can have someone there that's helping you in terms of instruction, like a more hands-on type of experience where they can say, feel that lump, feel this, look at this side versus this side, and what are your thoughts?
I thought I had did so good on that weave. And she was like, do you feel that lump? I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, your client would too.
Yeah, it's like actually my first weaving class, because I'm not very good with braiding. And it's like, I think I may have shared this before, but one of the instructors was like coming over like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm braiding it up so I can. She's like, I don't know if you realize it, but you braid over for a while and then you braid under and then you braid back over. And it's like, I'm like, oh.
Didn't even know.
Did not know, but yeah, I think you gave some really good, solid foundational type things. Mannequins, like you say, working on mannequins is a great way to enhance your skills. Like you said, like the coworkers that you had that were great with foiling. It's like pulling out a mannequin and sectioning and deciding how you want to do foils, deciding how you want to do balayage and those types of techniques. And not only learning the techniques and getting, like your rhythm or what have you, so that you have a better outcome from it. Are your foils thin enough? Are you weaving thin enough? Are you weaving thick enough? It's like, what are those things looking like? But also working with a timer can be a great thing to help you with your speed when you get onto real people.
Absolutely. Definitely work with a timer. And the one thing that I will say about with working with a mannequin, fully polish off that mannequin as if it was your client. Anytime that I take a picture of a mannequin, she's my client. Our mannequins have names. I name them, Alicia, whoever their names are. Treat her as if she was the client. That client will want a full polished look. This mannequin is going to want a full polished look.
Yes, she is. Okay.
Deb is going places.
So you shared a lot with us, but like as an educator, are there like a certain few little things where people really, don't understand or misunderstand, or, just any little tips that people might need to know about color if they're kind of starting out or a little bit unsure?
So if you're starting out, definitely get those foundations. Miki, you mentioned about the color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Know and understand that color wheel like the back of your head. If you know and understand that color wheel, you will know and understand how to formulate your color properly.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing that I would say to know is know and understand when I say talking about different types of hair, I'm talking about fine, medium, and coarse. Wave, straight, wavy, curly, coily. Understand how the hair is going to react to color. Knowing and understanding that you can achieve these different colors and looks, but there's going to be a different approach that you're going to go to it. My biggest thing, and I put this pretty much on any of my images that have color on it, or whenever I'm talking about color and extensions, slow and steady. I think that that is something so important that we have to know and understand when it comes to color. Yeah, I can blow open this hair and get it done, but what is the integrity of this hair going to be like in the end? So keeping the integrity of the hair, really owning in on what those foundations are, and then being authentic and being truthful. I think we have to get to that place with our clients, and we have to be truthful and honest and say what can happen today and what maybe will have to happen over the course of time. I think that those are some of the things we know now, especially a lot of times clients may have done things to their hair at home, and having that real honest conversation with them. And it's not that it was a bad thing. It's just that you have to be able to break it down and say, okay, these were the things that may have happened to your hair while you were, in quarantine. So here's the things that we're going to need to do so that we can get you to this place over here. Don't just say, okay, yes. And I will be very truthful and honest. I was that person before, nervous to turn something away. So you say, yes, okay. And then like you're sweating in the back, trying to figure out how to get yourself out of it.
Right.
I'm going to help you guys all out. Learn from my mistake. Don't do that. Have authentic conversations. Know and understand what you can and can't do. Know and understand those foundational skills.
Yeah. I think you're spot on with that. And the conversations, and it may be that they can't get it. How do you handle those types of situations or things where people want a certain thing, from a, kind of walk us through almost like a role play type of thing? What would you share with that client?
There is a part where you get nervous because you're getting ready to tell them something that that they may not want to hear in that moment. But in the long run, every time that I have found myself in one of those situations, in the long run, they have been super appreciative that I was upfront and honest with them about what can actually happen. If your client's hair is not in the most healthiest state to achieve this chemical service over here, don't do it. Simply tell them that. That is the conversation. I love that this is where we're going to get today. When we look at the integrity of your hair, there's a couple of things that we want to work on first. So let's work on getting your hair stronger, get it a little bit more healthier, and then we can start going into color. Maybe instead of us doing this all over color on your hair right now, let's just do like maybe a partial. A huge trend right now is color blocking, and that's just taking a small area of hair and adding some color into it. Maybe you start them off with something like that to see how the hair is going to actually respond to it before doing this full-on project, getting halfway through, see that it's not happening how you want it to, and then you kind of rush them and get them out the salon.
And pray it holds till they get home.
You're like, oh my gosh, please don't call me.
If the wind blows and their hair starts falling off,
if they don't call me, we're good. Okay. You don't want to put yourself in that situation because nobody else will have to tell you. You don't have to have the conversation with anybody else. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, you know what happened, and you know how you feel about what just happened too, and you don't feel good about it. And I think with everything that's going on outside of the beauty industry, within the beauty industry, now I think people want transparency. They want super honesty. They want that. So give that to them instead of saying, oh yeah, girl, we got you, we can do this.
So one of the things you're, what are you, like Gen Z, I guess?
No, I'm a
You're,
millennial.
you're a millennial. Okay. The
Yes.
millennials are older. The Gen Zs are now
Yes.
the new millennials. So, but one of the things that we have experienced, some of us who are a little bit more mature, is a lot of times the communication skills, because you're sharing some really vital things with us. But a lot of times the communication skills seem very low, or the confidence level in having real conversations, with clients beforehand, as far as what's available. They've been texting all their lives. They've been, um, communicating on social media and that type of thing. And that one-on-one, standing face to face, having those serious conversations. This person wants a great service. Obviously, they are knowing that it's going to cost some level of money, probably a little bit more on the expensive side if they're talking about color. And they want to have some sense of, what are the results going to look like, as well as the stylist should have some sense of what the results are going to look like. But any suggestions for how to have those conversations? Because I think we're creating a lot of problems, like you say, where you go home and you're praying the phone doesn't ring. So any suggestions?
Yes. First, I definitely have to, my upbringing, growing up in the salon, being
Mhm.
around a ton of family, I've always seen very confident women. I've always seen even in the salon, then I seen those confident conversations. So a lot of that comes from me already just kind of seeing that and knowing what it kind of looks like. The
Mhm.
other thing that I would say is you have to build your own confidence up first, because I know that's where, for sure, with me, when it was kind of those nervous moments and kind of just doing things, I know it was just the lack of confidence in yourself. So
Mhm.
when you start taking those classes and practicing your skills, and you kind of have that confidence behind you and you know what you can and can't do, the conversation becomes a little bit easier
Mhm.
than versus it being just a thing of like, I don't know what to do. Role play with family. I feel
Mm.
like we all know family and friends can be brutally honest to us. So I think you have to have that support system. I keep saying that, and I think that is
Mhm.
so important for everyone to have that. If you do not have a support system, find a support system. Find some other hairstylists that think alike and you guys are along the same lines, because they are going to help you to achieve those goals that you're looking for. They're going to
Mhm.
be truthful and honest with you. They're going to help you along the way. They are going to make sure that you are your most confident self when you're behind the chair.
Mhm.
Um, Also, don't shy away from being an assistant. I think that that is a don't shy away from it. I was assisting in my cousin's salon, and at the time she was a Dudley's educator, and
Mm.
I absolutely loved that time because it gave me more of what I needed right out of school. Right out of cosmetology school, I did not have enough of those skills to really
Mhm.
just go out there and do what I needed to do. But going working in my cousin's salon, it gave me the opportunity to learn more so that I could feel more confident to build a clientele up. And as you're building your clientele up, take those classes. I'm going to say it 1,000 times over. Additional education. We all have to have additional education. It is so important.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I think being an assistant can be one of the fastest ways to grow through the industry,
Yep.
because not only do you learn so much, from, if you're paying attention, and you're wanting to learn, it's like you can learn so much, the little fine minor things that really make all the difference. How they say the details make the difference, that when you get to work and watch, like you say, your grandmother and your cousin, what have you, and how they interact with people and how they approach the hair and how they approach the consultation, all of those things will make a huge difference for you. And my experience is, a lot of times when you're the new stylist that comes in, all the clients are like, who's that? I'm not going to her. Versus if you start out as someone's assistant and then they're like, oh, well, I don't have time to get you in today, but Brendnetta has some time available. And they're like, oh yeah, I know her. It's like, that'll be perfect.
Yep.
And then before you know it, you've got clients coming out of the,
And
wazoo.
I will even say, when I was the new one in my salon, I did all the kids. And
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone else was like, no, I don't want to do no kids. I was like, that's money. Like, bring me that kid. I will do it. And what started happening was the parents were basically testing me out with their kids.
Right.
And it started going from me doing the kid to me doing the mom, to me doing the mom to the grandmother. So it started becoming to be a whole family would be coming. So
Right.
don't get into that thing of like, oh no, I don't do this, or oh no, I don't do that. Yes, you do.
Okay. Say, yes, you do. Love it. But that's the kind of attitude that you have to be able to excel and propel. It's like, and now you're a color boss, and still on the rise as well. So, all of us see, the things that are going well and all of that good stuff. But what would you say have been like your biggest challenges in the industry?
Biggest challenge. Oh gosh, you kind of got me stumped there. I would say the biggest challenge, definitely for me in the beginning, for sure, was, and I think things are starting to change and evolve. But in the beginning, my biggest challenge was kind of finding that way in. Like, I didn't know which avenue to go. I didn't know which way to go. And I wasn't getting like clear answers. I don't know if I wasn't asking the right questions. I didn't know. I was kind of like all over the place. And I was like, I know what I want the end to look like, but I don't know how to even start it. I don't even know where the beginning looks like. So that I think was the biggest challenge. I think things have opened up more, especially now with technology. When I first started out there, we didn't even have MySpace yet. I think MySpace was just coming out. So we now have, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse now. So there's so many different ways for things to kind of open up for you to get some of those answers to maybe how you should start things. So I definitely think things have changed and evolved over the time. I think for me, my personal challenge is kind of getting out of my own way. I know me and you, Miki, we have talked about this before. It is good to be, and what I have learned and what I'm still learning is that it's good to be hard on yourself, but then I think you also have to give yourself a little credit and give yourself a little pat on the back sometimes. I think I'm my worst critic, so nobody else can criticize me more than I can criticize myself. It's so funny. After we had shot our Naha last year, and I was like just staring at the image that I had worked on, and I was like, man, I should have did this, or I could have did that, and I should have just did this. And and I just had to like put it down one point, and then finally my mentor, she was like, can you just be proud of yourself for a moment? And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's almost the curse of creativity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we want all the things to be just so, and yeah, but being hard on yourself, that can hinder you as well.
Yes.
So yeah, so it is.
So everyone that's listening, take a deep breath, a breather, give yourself a pat on the back.
Right. Can't you just be proud of yourself? It's
like, can't you just be
I love those words. So you actually were part of my Be Your Own Boss. It's a 90-day mastermind. So tell me, like, what was it about that attracted you to, participating with the mastermind, and what did you get out of it, since it is for, kind of more advanced stylists who are looking to create a result that they haven't been able to yet?
With 2020 being kind of like thrown at us, and kind of everyone was all over the place, not knowing what to do. And at the time, I did not feel very organized with where I wanted to go next. I knew what I wanted to do next, but I was not as organized as I could have been. And that was one of the things that definitely attracted me to the masterminds, because it gave me the time to really, and the tools to really just narrow down and focus on the plan of what I want to do. How do I want to achieve it? What are the things that I need to do to achieve it? And for me, that was the biggest takeaway, was actually planning everything out. I know it was kind of like that joke going around, like with our planners of 2020, like, do I even buy one? I didn't even use it. And I mean, they were funny. And it was like, do I buy a 2021 planner? Yes, buy the 2021 planner, plan yourself out, get everything planned out that you really want to do, and really writing it out. I know me and you, we talked about that, how I was always so used to kind of just putting things in my phone. But like, you made us like write everything out. And with writing it out, I felt like I had a stronger commitment to it versus me kind of putting it in my phone in a note somewhere and throwing it off to the side. Like, once I put it on that pen and paper, I'm like, ooh, I got to do it now because it's here. Like, I can't get rid of this. There was no delete button.
Okay. That is true. They actually said that there's some type of connection that is made in your brain when you actually have a pen or pencil in your hand and write it on paper. That doesn't happen when you type it into the computer or the phone or what have you. And so I'm old school in some ways, but I think that it creates a connection.
Yes, it does.
Especially with your numbers, because that's one of the things that we work on is tracking your numbers. And a lot of times there's such a disconnect for all of us with how much money is coming in, how much money's going out, and where did it go? And if we don't actually keep up with it, it's like we've got all the tools, and I talk to hairstylists and owners all the time. It's like, oh, well, that's on my computer program, or that's on my scheduling software, or what have you. But okay, grab it real quick. It's like, oh, I don't know what to grab. I don't know what to look at.
Right.
The data's there, but it's like it's not connected in your brain in a way that you can use it. So
and having that number programmed like in your head every single day, like, you can't get away from it. It's right there.
In your face.
In your face every single day.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's like, I'm glad you were part of it, and I'm glad that it was helpful for you.
So good. If you guys are out there, if you haven't taken it, look into it. I definitely encourage you guys to look into it. Take it. It definitely helps you. One of the things that I absolutely love is that it is your own personal plan. It is not a general plan. So Miki really makes it personalized to you. And I think that that's so important, because then you don't have to feel like you are doing somebody else's plan, or you're trying to make something fit into something that does not necessarily fit into where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that too, because I find a lot of people, we've taken a lot of classes, especially during now. It's like, I've taken this class and that class and that class, and I still haven't pulled the trigger. I still haven't done what I wanted to do, or I got part of the way through it, but then I got sidetracked. And that's what the mastermind is for, so that you get the support and the confidence and the accountability that you need to actually go and reach the goals that you're going for.
Yes.
So
I know it is sad, and don't quote me on this, but if you like learn something and if you don't apply it within so many hours, you basically lose it.
Right.
So like, when you're learning things, you have to apply it in those moments right after, because otherwise you forget it.
Yeah. And there's a quote that I like a lot too, that we learn by doing. And almost like you were saying, how your career opened up, it's like you take this step, and then it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll go over here and go through this door. And it's like, oh, I didn't even know this existed over here, that, what showed up beyond that door. So it really is taking those next steps. But a lot of times, particularly if we're trying to do it ourselves, we end up falling short. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to do that tomorrow. But, we make that commitment and have to show up, and it's like, did you do it? And it's like, we're going to be up the night before if we have to to make sure we did it.
No more late nights. Get a plan.
Exactly. Absolutely. So social media is a big part of your life, your your business and all. And I know that earlier, what was it, mid last year, that
Yes.
you were hacked. And I know around that time I heard quite a few people who were hacked. So I'm very sorry that happened. But tell us, kind of what that experience was like, your prior to being hacked. Instagram, I think, is where you spend most of your time. um, what was that experience like, setting it up, building it, getting hacked and starting from where you are?
So I didn't have this ginormous following on my page. I had my lovely followers that were following me. So I had probably about 2,500 followers. I loved every bit of my 2,500 followers prior to my
Mhm.
page getting hacked. I had really just, I was steady and consistent. I kind of knew and understood what I was doing with social media. So I felt good about where I was at that time with my social page. And I had started retransforming things, making sure that I had all the right hashtags, the locations, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And then one morning I woke up and I could not log into my account. Like, it basically logged me out and I couldn't get into it. And I was devastated, like bawling all out on the floor, like trying to figure out who do I call? What do I do?
Right,
How do I get
right.
my page back? Because first of all, I felt like it was mine. And I felt completely violated that somebody would take my page. And then I was minding my own business. Like, here I am with my followers. I'm over here. I'm not trying to get into nobody else's way. So why are you over here wanting to hack my page?
Mm.
Um, I did not want to redo it. I was like, forget it. I'm done with social. I don't want to redo it, because basically it was like, yeah, we can't get your page back, so you're gonna have to start over.
Mm.
And I was like, everything that I had was attached to that name that I had. And now I don't have that. I couldn't even get my old name back. Like, everything was just gone. So I just felt really violated. At the time, BTC still had, so behindthechair.com, they were still had their contest open. So I had
Mm.
put in some submissions for that contest. And I was like,
Mhm.
well, if I don't do this, then that means because then that meant all my submissions go away. So I had to restart over
Wow.
anyway. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, let me do this. What it taught me was, one, prior to that, I was not using a pre-planned app. So when I say like a planning app, I was not using one of the apps where you kind of put in all your pictures. I kind of knew how I wanted to plan everything out, but I wasn't actually doing that. So that was my first thing that I really wanted to do. The second thing, which I feel like is the most important, was the authentication, the second authentication. I did not have that on my first Instagram page. I
Okay.
definitely have that now. I highly encourage everyone ever so often change your password, because I think that that was one of the things. I thought my password was hard, but apparently it wasn't, because they got in there.
So what's the authentication part? Tell us
So
about
it's
that
the
to make
two-part
sure.
authentication. So
Mhm.
where it's two ways where they can look you up. So whether you have like your phone number and an email
Mhm.
or a second email, something to where they can double check to make sure you are who you are. I
Okay.
think that that was the most frustrating point, is where I had to prove I'm me. Like,
Wow. Like,
okay,
how do you do that? It's like, okay. It's like, I am me.
I'm me. I'm not out here being nobody else. Nobody else is trying to be
Right.
me, so this is me. So I think that that is definitely important. Ever so often, change your password. Really
Okay.
make sure your passwords are strong. And I think now more so, because everybody's at home. And it was kind of like, it was a wave that kind of happened over the beauty industry. Ever so often, I was turning around, somebody's page was
Yeah.
getting hacked. And I'm talking about huge pages that were getting hacked. So it was hard. I think I went ahead and I started it over. So
Mhm.
SGB Girl is my page. Please go over and follow. I do follow back. I answer DMs. I do all that good stuff. So if you guys
Wonderful.
are out there, follow me back. One of the things that has definitely helped me out with restarting this page was actually taking everything that I have learned with social media. So if you haven't taken a social media class, I highly encourage you to take a social media class. And
Mhm.
it's really just to understand the how and the whys behind things, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, how do you really make your page authentic to who you are? Who's your audience? Who are you trying to target? Whether it is clients, whether it is publications, whether it's vendors out there, really understanding how to grab their attention. So that was one of the reasons why I took that class. And then from taking that class, I'm like, okay, well, here's the time to really just put it to use. I'm actually happy that I restarted my page. I have to kind of admit, I like my second page a whole lot more than I liked my first page. I use an app called Preview, and Preview is where I actually upload all of my images in prior to me actually posting them. So I get to kind of play around to see like how they're going to look, where do I want them to be placed at. The other thing that I love about with the app Preview is I actually get to put in my captions. So I'm not spending a ton of time right before I post. Like my post is already done for me. So say, for example, I have all of this week's posts already set up and I'm working on next week's post. So it's kind of helping me to stay more organized. It makes social media be that much easier and it doesn't feel like it's an actual task at hand.
Okay. So I like that. It's like I put it up here as Preview app. Is that correct? Okay. And is it on like your phone as well as the computer, or is it just on the computer? I mean, just on the phone?
I believe it's on both. I'm not 100% sure. I know for sure they do have it for both phones, Androids and Apples. So we're good for that.
Okay.
And it's free.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay.
I didn't pay for the paid version. I used the free version.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, those are some really good tips. Anything else as far as social media? Like take the classes, use the planner.
Take classes. Couple different things. Be consistent. I think that is so important. So you do not have to post 3 times a day, 2 times a day. You don't even have to post every day. You can post every other day. You can post every 3 days. I think the main thing is you stay consistent for your audience. The other thing is post what you enjoy to do. I only post the things that I absolutely enjoy to do. I think blondes are beautiful. I think they're gorgeous, but I love doing caramels. So I post a ton of caramels. If that's what you love to do and enjoy, that's perfectly okay. It doesn't mean that because the trend is going here that I'm going to automatically start switching over and start posting those things. If that's not what you enjoy doing, don't post that. If you enjoy doing a silk press, post it. There is nothing wrong with that. If you enjoy doing relaxers, if you enjoy cutting, coloring, whatever it is that you love to do, I think that's what your audience wants to see. They want to see who you are as an artist. They don't want to see you trying to be like somebody else that's already out there.
Yeah. And I definitely think that kind of gives you that, that edge, I think, you know what I mean? That it's like it stands out, it attracts your vibe, it attracts your tribe. And, it keeps you doing what you want to do, but it also, when you go through your page, it's not cookie cutter,
Right. And don't get hung up on having a ton of likes. Don't get hung up on having a ton of followers. I'd rather have 1,000 followers that are actually engaging in what I'm posting versus having 200,000 followers and not even a fourth of them are actually engaged in what I'm posting. So engagement, I think, is more important than having a ton of followers. I'm sure you guys have all heard this on pretty much any social media class. Do not buy followers. Do not buy followers. They do not help you out in no way, shape, or form. Don't even invest the money into it because it's not an investment at all.
Okay. And they have some of the follow for follow kind of things. Do you like those or? Or have you had any experience with that? I don't know if you have.
I have, and I think you have to do it with people that are like-minded. So not only are they going to follow you, but they are going to like and comment. So it goes back into that thing of engaging. You have to engage. Whatever you put out in social media is what you're going to get back in return. So I like and I comment. I'm not on there all day long. But I set aside a certain amount of time to where I'm going to like, comment, and engage. And then I get that same thing back in return.
Okay, cool. So you are in California. And California is currently on lockdown again.
Again.
Again. So what things can you share with us, if any, as far as, surviving 2020 and where you see the direction, I guess you could say, of the industry going?
Stay motivated. I think that is the biggest thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
things are a little bit different with this closure versus what they were with the first closure. The first closure kind of hit us by a train wreck. We didn't even see it coming.
Right.
I have spoken to a ton of hairstylists here in California, and it's kind of been that same kind of census where we saw this coming again. So people's mindset was a little bit different than what it was the first time around. Use this time that you're not in the salon very wisely. So take some classes, and not just take classes on hair, take classes on business, take classes on photography, take classes on maybe modeling, kind of go into different directions, because you never know what you might have to do in the future. And when I say that, like, you may have to be the one who's taking the pictures of all your clients. So you want to know how to properly pose them. You want to know how to train your eye for the detailing. You want to know how the hair should look and lay and feel. So use your time wisely. I think it is very important for you to stay in connection with your clients. Do not lose connection with your clients. They depend on you. So however your mood is how they're going to react to you. So if you like fall out and like don't respond and go dark, that's exactly how they're going to feel. And they're going to feel like you abandoned them, and you don't want to abandon them. If anything, give them advice, help them out, because they need to know, well, what do I do to my hair? How do I manage my hair? Do not get upset if your client used a drugstore product on their hair. No, that is not what I'm saying to do. But if they were in a pinch and they did that, help them out through it. Your
Right.
salon is closed. So how would you want them to help them out? I feel like the more that we help them out, the more they're going to be willing to come back and sit in your chair. Versus if you abandon them, they feel like you didn't care.
Right. Right.
And your clients are your family. So if you are, how you treat your family is how they're going to respond to you when things kind of open back up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Really good tips. Really good tips. And so where do you see, I really kind of want to talk about your editorial work, because it's like that's an avenue that sounds like it kind of opened up for you. And then, combining that with the NAHA, working on that, the North American Hairstyling Awards. So tell us, for anyone who's not familiar with NAHA, like, what is that?
So NAHA is the North American Hairdressing Awards. It is like the Oscars of hair. All of our top hairstylists, they have been nominated and winners. To even submit your work, consider yourself a winner in this category, because it takes so much, not that it takes so much, it takes a lot of time and energy from yourself. Like, you really have to own in on a different part of your creativity when you go into submitting work into NAHA. I had the honor and the privilege to be mentored by Michelle O'Connor and Diva Garner Taylor, who are both phenomenal women of NAHA. They both have won enormous awards. Their work is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. And the process of doing, we did a collection. So it's a team of 7 of us, and we submitted a collection. And when I tell you the different emotions that you didn't even think you were going to feel, you start feeling them, and you just don't even know this. I remember, like, I had called D-Lick, and I was like, I don't know if I should do this. Like, maybe I should do something else completely different. And I just don't think that this is going to work. I just don't know. And she was like, no, we're going to do it. Don't worry about it. And it worked. And what you have to do, you have to just let yourself kind of be free and kind of go with the flow of things. And when you get into the day of shooting, if things don't work how you thought it was going to work, you have to keep rolling with the punches or whatever happens and comes your way. But it is one of the best rewarding feelings ever. Like that feeling of knowing that we accomplished that. Not even that we were nominated, not even that we won, but knowing that we did that. It was one of the best feelings ever. Like nobody can ever take that away. Like that is something, and it's for yourself. It's something you feel for yourself. It's so exciting. It feels so good. If any of you guys are out there and you're thinking about going into competing, I highly suggest you to do it. It is because you're doing it for yourself. Winning feels good. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but there's something about, you know, being brave enough to put your work out there, being brave enough to not be so worried about what somebody else is going to feel about it, but because you love it and you put it out there and you did it and you feel good about it, that is the winning right there.
So what was it like to win?
I think I'm still living in that moment. Like I'm still back at the end of January at Naha, sitting in the chair. I had brought my mom with me. My mom was my date, and I was sitting there next to her, and she was like, the category came up, and she was like, "Okay, guys, here you go." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And sitting there, and then just hearing them say the salon by inside, and just like jumping up out the chair, like with excitement. It was like words can't even describe how that moment felt. Like I could live in that moment forever. Like that was such a moment. It also ignited a spark in me. It ignited something that I'm like, I want to do this again. And you know, I want to go through the whole process of planning and going through the process of kind of figuring out really what you want to do and how you want to do it, and the practicing and finding different pieces of how you can manipulate things, and really just kind of the whole journey of it all and enjoying that journey. Like when I look back and I think about our journey to how we got there, that was the winning right there. Those conversations, those playing with different hair, looking at different color palettes, figuring out what works versus what doesn't work, and coming together to make one cohesive collection. Like that was the winning.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. And so talk to us about like the trends you see for color, you know, moving forward. What are your thoughts with where
we definitely are in this whole thing of the 90s era, the 90s feel. So I'm sure you guys have all seen like a strong money piece in the front. I'm a huge fan of the color blocking with the fashion colors. Absolutely love that. I think that is a very fun way to introduce color to a client who maybe is a little fearful of color. Having a smaller piece of color is a whole lot easier than having their whole entire head color. Also, we are seeing a ton of blonding on textured hair, which I absolutely love. I think that is something, and when I say blonding, like white blonde, something that we haven't seen before. So that's something super new that I absolutely love seeing. And then I also like classic. I think a classic head of highlights is always going to be so beautiful. Those are some of those things that I do see kind of transitioning on.
Yeah, yeah. Are there things that you see, like, you know, right now everybody is, you know, in flux, you know, California is shut down. Some of the other places in the country may be heading that way or so, but what would you say is kind of a user-friendly way as far as having your client in a color right now in case, you know, there's something that comes up? What gives them the most longevity or the most ease of, you know, continuing or keeping up with?
I think the easiest thing to keep up with is a balayage. It is a lived in color, something that is a little grown out from the root itself. That makes it a little bit, the more lived in it is, the better it almost looks sometimes. So those I think are very good ways to go into color. I had played with my friend, my best friend, with her hair, and I was testing out some different colors, and I did her color. We probably did that back in September.
Mm.
And she's like, my hair still looks good. And I'm like, see, lived in color. You're good to go. So those are some things to kind of think about.
Okay. Okay. That's really good because I think we really need to be thinking about right now, but we also need to be thinking about future and how people are going to be able to care for it, to minimize that needing to run out to the
Right.
drugstore.
And then that whole thing of good products. I am a fan of professional products. So align your client with the right type of products to maintain their color. If you know that they are wearing their hair maybe in caramel tones, give them a blue based shampoo and conditioner. I absolutely love Matrix their brass off. That is like one of my favorite shampoos and conditioners to offer to my clients. The same thing with their Keep Me Vivid. Those are some other great colors, shampoos and conditioners that I love for my clients' hair because it keeps the longevity of the color.
Nice. Yeah. We definitely have to make sure that they have what they need to take care of it, to maintain
Right.
it, because they spend a lot. They spend a lot of time, energy, money. And then for them to go home and, use something from the drugstore, shampoo, and it's like kind of all gone or muted. It's like, eh. So, it's like, I really appreciate you being here. It's like you shared so much with us. I hope everybody's gotten a lot out of it.
Well, I'm so happy and thankful that you created this platform. I am so honored to be one of your 4 under 40. Super excited about that. Definitely amazing opportunity. For the industry, stay positive, stay upbeat, keep motivated, band together. I think we are going to be stronger together than separated.
Yes. Yeah. Those are wise words. Absolutely. So what is next for you?
What is next?
Got a
Well,
whole big year ahead of you.
what is like next? We have the L'Oreal, their Style and Trophy contest is coming up. I am a finalist in the texture category. So
Yeah.
that is what's next. That's like right at the tip of my brain. That is like all I'm thinking about right now. I'm getting together my final look. So that is what that's really what's next. So everyone cross your fingers. I really
Yeah.
want to win this one. I love being that I am nominated in the category amongst other amazing artists. So super excited about that. So
Nice.
that's really the next. And then I'm keeping myself open to endless possibilities. This is
Awesome.
the year of yes.
Okay.
So
I
if the
love that.
opportunity comes, yes.
Yes. The year of yes. Yes. I absolutely love that. And that is a perfect way for us, I guess, to close out for this evening. But I want to thank everybody who's been here. It's like we have some great comments. I'm going to try to get a few of those up again. Let's see. I see a couple cute ones. Fat Mannequins, our clients. So.
Yes, they are.
And Donette says she has no problem saying no. It's best to be honest, although sometimes difficult, and it definitely can be. Yes, to be a color master, you must master foundational skills. Key. Thank you for that, Jamie. And Trenda McDougal says you have the best attitude and talent.
Oh, thank you.
We have people on Facebook, and it's late now, but it's like if you're on there and you want us to see your name on here, because otherwise it just shows up as Facebook users. But we've got lots of people saying hello. But at the end of where this is posted, they've actually have a place where you can put your name in, or it'll show us, your name that as it is on Facebook. And Jamie has enjoyed this, so thank you so much for joining us. And it looks like Amber got the time zone mixed up, which is easy to do with the West Coast, East Coast thing. So it looks like she may be joining us a little bit later, but we'll be able to catch the replay. And it's like
Yes,
it will
definitely tune
show on
in.
YouTube.
Catch the replay. Also, you guys can find me on Instagram at EdgyBGirl. Don't hesitate to reach out, ask any questions, come to me. I want to see all of you guys. Definitely follow me. I can't wait to see all of the beautiful things that all you guys are creating. It is going to be a great year for us, regardless of what is happening right now.
Yes, absolutely. Say yes. So, yes, it's like, thank you, everyone who's joining us live, everyone who's watching on the replay. It was like, we really appreciate you being here. If you are on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us and ring the bell. I had up there information on following us on iTunes/Apple. For the podcast, it's like we're lagging behind. So we're trying to play catch up with the ones that we've already recorded because we did so many in advance. So this will be in there in the mix sometime soon. But there's so many wonderful interviews. I'd love for you to check them out and be inspired. And get these nuggets that are being dropped over and over. And I have information here. It's like, if you are interested in getting more information about the next 90-day mastermind, which starts next Monday, which is the 11th, it's intentionally kept a small group, and we've got quite a few people in it right now. We have a couple spaces left, not very much, but if you are interested in it, then message me. I'm Miki Wright on most of the things, MikiWright. And you can message me and I'll get you some information. And also want to invite you guys to join. It's like, I've got a VIP training. It's like, it's part of the podcast, a way to support our podcast and the things that we're doing. But it also, I'm creating a class, the VIP class, that is called Reinventing Your Salon Biz in 2021. Because the things that we've been doing, a lot of them aren't working. They don't apply. It's like, we've got to basically, what I feel, get back to basics. A lot of what you were saying, Brendnetta, got to get back to basics and really create a plan to maximize the time that we're in the salon so that we're creating and generating the most income and servicing, fewer clients, because we can't double book and those types of things, and making it so that we can keep our salons alive, thriving, and moving forward beyond this year. So, and that's, of course, if you're open, it's like it will apply. But if you're not open, like Brendnetta said, take the classes, because it's like, it's preparing you to get ready, because it's like, you may need to do some things that are reinventing, revamping, and really getting some things in place so that when you do go back, you're able to hit the ground running, where you've got your systems in place. So I'm going to start that on, the first class will be on the 13th, which is next Wednesday. And I hope that you'll join us. It's like, you can, what am I going to do? I'm going to put it in the post. I'll post it here for you to be able to join us. And also on my Instagram page, you can follow my link tree and be able to sign up there. And the best thing is, it's really user friendly. It's only $10 a month. It supports the broadcast, and we'll have a live class. It'll be recorded and it'll be accessible on the podcast in a private VIP area. So you'll have access 24/7 to all of the ones that we do. And it'll be each month. I'll tell you some new things. I just wrote an article that's in American Salon, and there's one in Read the Teas, just talking about the things that we've fallen short on, even prior to 2019. 7 out of 10 clients that came in as new clients didn't ever come back to our salons. So we've got to look at things like retention. It's like, are we keeping them coming back? Are we keeping them happy? How do we, maximize each visit? And so we'll be talking about things like that. So I hope that you will be encouraged. I would definitely want to invite you back for next week, which next week we are going to have Marjorie Lightford. I don't know if you know her name or not, but she is an amazing talent. She is a great colorist. She is a celebrity stylist, and we actually met some years ago, so you'll get to hear the story about that. I actually coached her when she was first starting her career, and it is incredible to see how much of what she wanted she's now living. So it's all about living her dream. And so I can't wait for her to share with you and me all of the things that have transpired in her life. And so definitely, if you haven't already, follow her. And then we'll have Brenton Lee, who's doing classic hair education right now. And he is an amazing talent. He's won all national, international awards just kind of over and over again. He's been like this phenom kind of right out of high school. And I've been a longtime fan, but we've only just had like one conversation getting ready for this. We've been DMing each other for a little while, but we're finally going to get to sit down and chat and hear his secrets to success and, his future projections for this year as well. And our last guest for this month, last but not least, is Jasmine Black, and she is out of Detroit, which is my actual hometown. And she has Studio Lush Detroit. If you're following her on social media, she has an incredible following as well, but she's built her salon based on social media, and she has some phenomenal blonding techniques. You were mentioning blonding. That's really her specialty, and people are flying in from all around the country, really talented longtime artist to learn some of these techniques from her. So she's going to join us, and I'm super excited about that. And that's enough for now, but let me tell you, there's more to come. So February, we're already lining that up. So stay tuned. Next Tuesday at 7, I'll be back here with Marjorie. You guys are going to love her and her energy and all the things that she's got going on. So want to thank everybody. Appreciate you being here. I hope you have a fabulous evening. Look for the links if you want to join our Reinventing Your Salon Biz for 2021 class. And I will look forward to seeing you on Instagram. It's like I'm on Clubhouse now and getting started with that. So if you're not on Clubhouse, you definitely need to be there. My sister's been on me like the whole week.
Get on there. Good rooms.
Yeah. And thank you, Nishan. My sister says great interview. So it's like I'm glad she's enjoyed hearing your story and hearing so much about the secrets to your success. So thank you again, Brendnetta, and you take really good care. Stay safe out there, and we will talk soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.